My name is R. Crosby Lyles, and this is News from the Can. This is Gray Wolf Survival, Emergency Preparedness, How to Communicate When the World Goes Silent. Bottom line is, according to Gray Wolf, CB radios aren't really that great because of the range. Your cell phone is only as good as your cell tower. If you've got high wind conditions, or you've got a buildup of snow, or they lose power, or anything happens to your cell tower, then your cell phone may not work. You can get apps for your phone where you can communicate with other people. You can set up proxy networks and things like that, but you kind of have to set that up ahead of time. You have to have people that are close enough to you, within a few miles, because the transmitter on a cell phone is not necessarily that strong. Which is the same thing with CB radios. CB radios have a limitation that your range is 1 to 10 miles, and depending on what your terrain is like. And if we're talking about people that are going to be in heavy snow conditions, that may be a significant limitation. Satellite phones are cool, however, heavy tree cover and you can't use them inside. So if you're inside and your roof is covered with snow, you may not be able to use it at all, period. Which leaves, and he basically boils down to amateur ham radio is the best emergency communication system. Then the reason for that is because of the range that you can use. But you got to have, for ham radio, you have to get a license. And he's suggesting, and I see the logic of it. I think that it's a good idea to go ahead and get a license, an amateur license, lower level license, just so that you can train on it. You can figure out how to use it and tinker with it, mess with it, without getting in trouble, because you're not really supposed to get on one and communicate yourself without a license. Now, I believe you can use a scanner. You can listen to what's going on with the emergency frequencies, and I don't think if you're just listening, I don't think you need to have a license. And there's everybody and his brother out there is using ham radio frequencies. National Guard during emergencies, interdepartment agencies, communications by local and state police forces, Red Cross for relief operations, International Aeronautical Emergency Frequency, disaster relief operations, channel used by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. It is active during earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, and other catastrophic events. That's 138.225 is the frequency, 146.52, a frequency used by ham radio operators for non-repeater communications on the 2-meter band. It is very busy in many parts of the country. So that's like chatter if you want to hear what's going on. 151.625 used by itinerant business. 154.28 used for interdepartment agency communications by local fire departments. 155.160 used for interdepartment emergency communications by local and state agencies during search and rescue operations. 155.475 used for interdepartment emergency communications by local and state police forces. 156.75 used internationally for broadcast and maritime weather alerts. It's just, this is the shit. Ham radio is the shit. And so that's my message. I want to keep this video basically focused on that ham radio is the shit. Your cell phone may very well work in heavy-duty snow or in whatever's going on. It may very well work and may stay functioning. You might be able to put together a proxy network with your friends. There's a bunch of apps. There's CB radio apps, but they all use the cell tower system, and the other ones use Bluetooth and the transmitting capacity of your phone to produce a proxy network. There are things where you can actually chat peer-to-peer, and you can actually use that to communicate with someone without even being on the cell network. So, you can use that for on-the-sly communications. But that's not really my focus. My focus here is to show you guys, give you guys a way to be able to communicate if the shit hits the fan in your area. And it seems to me like ham radio is definitely the way to go from the research that I've been doing lately. This has been on my mind quite a bit lately, and I want to give you guys news to use. So 2 of the links that Gray Wolf puts up they both go to Amazon, Personal Emergency Communications, Staying in Touch, Post-Disaster Technology Gear and Planning. This is a paperback book. I do not sell this stuff. I don't make money here. I don't put this link. I'm going to put Gray Wolf's thing. His link is in there, but I'm not, I'm not an affiliate salesperson. I'm just showing you guys this because this is good stuff to know. Looks like a pretty good book. I'll probably get it myself. And then there's this. And this is a Bofang 2-pack FM ham two-way radio. So they're handheld, right? Well, I'll give you a little idea what you're looking at here. He says something about the antennas that you can get, and sometimes you need an adapter, and I don't know about all that stuff. I use my shit right out of the box if I don't really know what I'm doing, if I'm an amateur or whatever. But this is like what, 61? Wow, $61. That ain't bad. Damn, shit. Just in time for Christmas. So anyway, like I said, I'm not an affiliate salesperson. I don't have this link in my links. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sell anybody this crap. I'm just saying I did some research, and do your own research. You know what I'm saying? Read this guy's thing, and the search that I did. Does the CB radio app work without a cell tower? That was my question. And I don't believe that it does. I don't think that it does. I was curious about that because my focus is on being able to communicate post shit hitting the fan. He mentions a couple of interesting things. By the way, this article is fabulous. He talks about all kinds of cool stuff on here. Creative ways to communicate with ham frequencies. The foxhole radio is like you can make a radio with a razor blade and a pencil and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's crystal radios. Homemade AM transmitter. There's something called a spark gap transmitter, which, by the way, is illegal. I just got to say this. It's illegal to communicate on a spark gap transmitter, and people will come looking for you if you mess around with one of these things, because a spark gap transmitter transmits on all frequencies at the same time, and they're freaking loud. You know what I mean? And they've got the equipment. I mean, it's like they can zero in on you pretty quick. If you can see where all the lightning strikes are in the world, it's one of the cool things I like about Bench Sky. Look at precipitation. You can see all these little dots lighting up here. That's lightning. But anyway, so what I'm saying here with this is I'm telling you that if you are screwing around, like some people like to do, if you're screwing around with a spark gap transmitter to try to play an alien or something like that, you know what I'm saying, screwing around, then they will find you and find you rapidly. Because for at least 40 years, the NSA has been able to track every electromagnetic signal emanating from planet Earth. Has been able to read and decrypt every electromagnetic signal from planet Earth. So yeah, you're basically would be found instantly. You'd have somebody knocking on your door, knock, hey. So yeah, you want to get a license just so that I don't think you need a license if you're just going to be using it to listen. A ham radio, but if you're going to really use it, if you're going to need to communicate with it, it's good to have a ham radio license. I don't think they're that hard to get. You can probably just Google it, find out how to get a license, and then you can be able to sort of figure out how to communicate. And it's just the way to go because you can communicate long distances with ham radio. This is a shortwave radio here. Always have a backup. They make many different kinds of these, but this is one that this guy is showing you. Shortwave radio, so you can listen into weather bulletins, etc. The safety-proof radio is a great little one to have because you can charge it with a hand crank or the solar panel. It has a flashlight, cell phone charger, so forth and so on. I don't sell these. Again, I'm not an affiliate. I don't sell this stuff. I'm just letting you know it's out there, and there's probably other brands, there's other stuff that maybe is good or better. I don't really know, but this is one of those shit hit the fan kind of things that maybe not everybody's thinking about, but it's something that I wanted to touch on. It's been on the back of my mind for a while, and I want you guys to stay safe out there. I would keep my snow shovel inside, in the house, inside the house, wherever you was comfortable or good to keep it, because last year in Wales, of all places, somebody had their front door snowed in. I've said this a million times on my channel. Their front door is totally packed. You couldn't see daylight through the top of their door when they opened their front door. So there's that. And you might need to dig your way out of that thing. So You always want to be safe, and make sure that any of your power generation that in heavy snow, and as I keep repeating this, because if you have heavy snow, then the airflow dynamics of the place where you keep your power generator, if it's running off of gasoline and it's creating carbon monoxide gas, you want to have that power generator situated so you don't gas yourself. And if you start getting heavy snow, then your airflow is going to change. And your airflow might get blocked off in such a way as to where that carbon monoxide can back up in your house. And it's always good to have a carbon monoxide alarm on your smoke detector as well. Most people have them. If you don't, you definitely want to have that too. So be safe out there if you're going to be doing any traveling, recreational, short-term traveling. Keep an eye on that weather report, because it'll come like a thief in the night, and you really don't want to be stuck on the road. If you get catastrophic snowfall of 10 feet or something like that, over the wide ranges that we're talking about, you really don't want to be stuck on the road. Freezing level, that's the one I usually like to look at. Folks living in Asia, living in China and Mongolia. I know you might be used to it. And also in Russia. I mean, I keep forgetting to mention the Russians. Where you're living in Russia and Siberia. Yeah, you all live in that stuff all the time. Probably can't hear me anyway. You guys are in it all the time, and you get heavy snow, and you get those super, super duper cold temperatures like, 85, 95 below and shit like that, like they did last year and the year before that. But we're talking about amounts of snowfall that are just ridiculous, even for Siberia. And it snows a lot, and obviously snows a lot in Siberia. So, and this is your setup right here. You see that there's this low pressure system, this giant low pressure system just sitting there churning, and there's one there constantly this time of the year, just sitting there constantly pushing up more moisture, drawing moisture up out of the lower Atlantic, the mid-Atlantic, up into the North Atlantic, and then 2 meters above the ground. Yeah, here you go. There it is, Siberia. I mean, it's just staying. That's it. That's a wrap for the rest of the winter time. It's negative 40 something. And where it's not, where this moist air is being pulled up here, Moscow could see some really deep snow. So stay prepared and pay attention to what's going on out there. And a ham radio apparently is the way to go, according to Grey Wolf. Because then you just look at it, there it is. I mean, it's ham radio's got it all. You can get one here for not a lot of money. Looks like $61.99. That ain't, is that for two? It's a 2-pack. Wow. So that's 2 for $61.99. Man, that ain't bad at all. I don't know what the range is. I mean, it looks really small. That looks really small. So, but hey, it's ham radio. This link is his link. So he put that there for a reason. And the whole thrust of this article is how to communicate when the world goes silent. So, and basically that's what he says. He distills it down to ham radio is the way to go. And just looking at what he said, I'd have a tendency to agree with him. And that's all I got. Y'all take it easy out there. Stay frosty or whatever. Whatever they say. No, it's not no laughing matter. No, this shit is, look, it's a potential. I have to say that. There's a potential here, but the potential is high. The potential is high for massive amounts of frozen precipitation. Keep an eye on what's going on, and it never hurts to be prepared. If you're going to have some extra stuff, well, hell, you got it left over when the spring comes. You know what I mean? No harm, no foul, and just get provisioned. And hunker down. Get ready. Just be prepared. And then if the shit does hit the fan, which it already has in some places, then you're ready. And if it doesn't, well, shit. The way I look at it is, if you take an umbrella, you never need it. You know what I mean? You probably won't need it. But if I don't take it, then I usually get rained on. I don't want to get rained on. Not in a situation like this, anyway. And that's all I got. Oh, another quick aside here. 2 tropical cyclones. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Faithai looks like it's impinged. It's hitting the coast of off the coast of India, and you got them above and below, which is fascinating to me. Above and below the equator, like directly across from each other, like mirror images. You have 2 tropical cyclones like mirror images across the equator. So it's all going on at once. Everything, you can have the storms and the heat, because the heat has been stored in the oceans. I mean, it's there. It's 400 parts per million of CO2, and that directly translates. What that does is that trapped heat is stored in the oceans. That heat has been stored for the past 20, 30 years. And then that, with the grand solar minimum that we're headed into, we may get a little bump in solar output between 2022 and 2024, and then it'll go down again, supposedly. There's a lot of back and forth about that, so who can really tell? A lot of issues at play. There will be more on that later, but the immediate, what I really want to get to is the immediate stuff, and the immediate thing is large amounts of frozen precipitation. The potential is there for quantities of frozen precipitation that no living human being has ever seen. Well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about quantities of frozen precipitation that no living human being has ever seen. Tens of feet of snow, continent-wide. Potential, possibility. So, stay safe. Love you guys. My name is R. Crosby Lyles, and this has been News from the Can. Thanks for watching. See you.